Today we're going to be talking to you a little bit about relationships and marriage and things like that, and how things that happen in the boardroom can affect the bedroom. Things that happen in the gym can affect the gymnastics in the bedroom and all of that. So before we do that, we're going to take you to a bedroom to watch a sketch in a particular bedroom somewhere around the world between two people, and we'll come back and talk to you about it in a little bit. Hey, baby, why are you sitting over there all alone? Come sit by me. Come give me some sugar over here. Right here, baby.
No, I don't think so. I'm not coming over there.
What do you mean you're not coming over here?
I'm not coming over there.
I mean, come sit by me. Give me some sugar. I mean, I've been working all day. I'm trying to hook up with you, and you're sitting way over there. And I mean, come on, baby.
No, you have...
I'll make some room for you right here. Come on in.
No.
Why not?
No, you haven't talked to me all day. Now you want to do this.
What do you mean? I've been texting you all day. What do you mean I haven't talked to you all day?
Yeah, exactly.
How many texts have I sent you today?
What? Talking about what?
Talking about the house, talking about dinner. I mean, then I came home and there was really no dinner, and I still had to make noodles. Yeah, but I don't even care about that right now. I'm just saying, come sit right here. I need to let off some steam and just hang out a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, you just didn't. No. You don't even look at me. You look at your phone, you're on your computer, then you want to, no.
Baby,
you need to talk.
I got to work. There's a reason I'm on my phone. I got to bring in the bacon. I got to make money so we can eat and all of that. So there's a reason why I'm always on my phone. I'm not there playing games or, angry and chasing birds and things like that. I'm here trying to, make some money, make our life work out. So then when I'm saying, come give me some love, give me some sugar over here, you're sitting over there talking about I don't talk to you when I send you text messages all day.
Yeah, but you
I
haven't
don't
even
understand
noticed.
what you want. What do you mean? Notice what? What?
Exactly.
No, what do you want me to notice? What haven't I noticed?
You don't notice anything different.
Different like what?
You don't notice anything different.
Like what? Tell me though. What do you want me to notice? The reason you're not gonna come sit here is because I haven't noticed that the sky isn't blue. I mean, what is it? I mean, that you want me to notice that I haven't noticed?
Number one, I lost my baby fat. I've been working out. I met my goal.
I'm really proud of you. You always look good, baby.
But you didn't tell. Do you see how? You didn't even look. You don't even look at me like that. You just.
I mean, I live in this house with you. What else would I be looking at? You walk in, I see you. It's you. It's still you. I mean, I don't understand what you're trying to say. I mean, I see you all the time, and now I'm not noticing you. You were in the car with me coming here just now.
Yeah, but you didn't say anything about my new hairdo.
Your hairdo. I mean, I'm glad you did it. It looks good. I mean, you always look good. If you didn't look good, why would I be saying, come here, come give me some? You know what I'm saying? I mean.
You know what? I'm not even gonna talk to you. This is why I'm not coming over there.
This is why, because I didn't notice that you changed your hair, and I didn't notice you lost the baby fat. Who paid for the gym? I paid for the gym for you to go lose the baby fat. Did I not get us all membership over there? I'm glad you were able to make it. I've just been a little busy trying to make some money.
What else have you noticed?
Notice what?
Exactly.
Okay, forget you then. If you don't want to come lay here, don't come lay here. I'm done.
Whatever.
All right. Yeah, at least, phone gonna keep me company. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did, because I mean, we enjoyed filming it, we enjoyed recording it, and now we're gonna talk about it a little bit and break it down and let you understand some of those things that we encountered in the bedroom and how we got to that point and how to correct those kind of situations if you ever find yourself in that point. So, baby, what did you think about the sketch?
Oh man, it was some heavy heat in there, not good heat. But I think the important thing about that skit was that they had some problems communicating, right? Mm-hmm. And communication in relationships is so important. Mm-hmm. And especially when you're dating, it's fine. But once you get married and you're with that person all the time and different things like that, the communication dynamics begin to change. And as you can see, even in that scenario, there was pretty much no communication. Absolutely. And that was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with you, because what happens sometimes is you get so used to someone and you begin to do the life's routine together that you never get the opportunity to shift your mind to say, how did I get this woman in the first place? What did I do to get into this good relationship that started out so good? But you begin to take them for granted because now that person is common to you. You've become part of this norm, and you wake up every day. It's about how do we make money to pay bills. And when you have children, you begin to talk about, oh, who's going to pick up the diapers, and who's going to pick them up from the daycare, who's taking them to soccer practice, who's taking them to ballet practice, and things like that. Communication becomes more of a routine thing, almost like a chore, like a business arrangement, a partnership, like a joint venture, instead of going back to that point of, a relationship where you're communicating. But in this particular situation, baby, it wasn't just about lack of communication. It was also, I picked out, the affirmation issue, where this dude was sitting there, and he was trying to get loose some, and he said, baby, come sit here with me. And it became more of what he wanted, how he wanted it, and he wasn't listening to what she needed.
Right.
What do you think of that?
No, it's very true. I think a lot of times we just don't realize, sometimes one person's communicating in one arena and the other person is on another wave, So we have to get to the point in our relationships that we kind of just speak the same language. He was speaking one language, which was valid to him, and she was speaking another language where she was like, I'm going to meet you in your language, but I want to connect in my language so that we can come together and, communicate and also go to the next level in our, communication.
In our communication. Yeah, what next level?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. I guess we can go right now.
Stop it.
Okay, all right, so, anyway. So when you want to communicate at that next level, it's important to speak the person's language. So it's like this. Say you speak French, and you are now speaking with someone who speaks purely Spanish. And you get there, and the person says, "¿Qué pasó, amigo?" And you're like, "Oh, bonjour, monsieur." It's two different things. You might be comfortable with what you're saying, but it doesn't mean the person is actually receiving what you're saying. Because I was, the guy played by, Junior Denzel Washington here, was me, and I was saying something about, hey, come give me some sugar. My language was I wanted to communicate at a different level. I wanted to practice at a different level, but I was speaking something, and she was not receiving what I was speaking because I wasn't connecting with her. Communication in a marriage is a total package. It begins with, you affirming that person and seeing the good in them, and especially, in a marriage relationship where everything is become one and you guys are now common together, the hair is the same all the time, or you assume it's the same all the time, so you don't notice it. So it's like, oh, wow, she got the hair did and the nails done and everything looks all percolating, but I wasn't paying attention to it because I'm used to seeing it. One of the dangerous things you can do in your marriage is to forget how you got into it in the first place. People spend a lot of time and resources dating. Even the women get ready and dolled up and all of that, go to dinner and shoes all nice. Then all of a sudden, they get married, they become grandparents. It's like the hair has like gooey, googly, boogly
rollers,
stuff on it, and it's rolling, and they're like, oh, baby, you're not looking at me. Yeah, because it hurts to look at you, because you are now putting it together. I'm motivated by what I see, and what I see is now motivating me to action. So there are things you need to do if you want me to affirm it. I can't affirm your mess. Right?
Yeah.
But in this particular scenario, you did everything, and you put it all together, but still, the guy, aka me, still wasn't affirming it because I was so engrossed in what I needed. At first, what I needed physically, and what I needed emotionally, and what I needed financially, whereby I began to talk to her about, oh, wow, I'm doing all of this to make money. You see, the Bible, let's hit the Bible. Can we hit the Bible right quick? Okay, sure. So the Bible says a man that cannot provide for his household is worse than an unbeliever. So what people think about that scripture is, if the man cannot put money on the table, then that man has failed. But when God talks about provision, it's not just isolated to finances. I think we misquoted that. It's all about finances, emotional provision. You have to be able to emotionally provide for your spouse. You have to be able to physically provide provide for your spouse. You have to be able to financially provide for your spouse. So it's not just about, oh, I done made all the money. I'm doing all this work to bring you all the money. I bought you a car last month. Nobody cares about the car if you can't emotionally pour into the woman. Women are emotionally stimulated and men are just always stimulated. So at the end of the day, you look at that scripture, it's about making sure that it's 360-degree kind of connection. Emotionally connected, physically connected, financially connected, suki now connected, and all of those things that gingered up the relationship when you were dating. If you used to cook some food. If you used to chase each other around, don't chase each other around. Don't just say, oh, no, now we have children. Well, the children are going to grow up. They're going to exit your house. And that's why many people are finding now that a lot of marriages are ending in divorce during what's called the empty nest phase of the marriage. Because the kids leave, and all of a sudden, you are stuck with each other. And because you forgot how to be with each other, you hit that a little bit, talk on that a little bit.
Yes, it's a big deal. When the kids leave the house, you've spent so much time communicating about the kids, about work, about different things that's going on, maybe surrounded around the kids. Then once they leave, it's just kind of like, okay, I'm looking at my husband, he's looking at me. I do not know how to communicate with this person anymore because we've grown apart. We've grown to our kids, we've grown to our jobs, but we haven't grown together. And it's so important to stay connected, even though, you have your kids, yes, you have your job, yes, you even have your hobbies, which is very important to have separate apart from your spouse. But when you and your spouse have to communicate in the midst of all that. Find something to do. Find fun things that even you used to do when you were dating. Start doing those things even in the midst so that when those children leave, you are still connected and you're not looking at each other like, I don't know who I married anymore. We hear that a lot. Who's this person I married? You're not the girl I married. You're not the man I married. Yeah, you're not. Why? Because we grew apart and we grew to other things. So that's the key here, is just growing together collectively.
And can I love that, baby. I'm going to venture to add a little bit more to that, also to say, when you talk about communication and people growing apart and all of that, you see, we are saying that communication isn't just about verbal, what you say. It's also, they say 70% of communication is body language, and we've been using the word communicate, meaning that the level of communication you have with each other will determine the level of connection you have. The level of connection you have will determine the longevity of the marriage. I said something once that kind of got me thinking a lot about, we have measured relationship success by duration. So it's like, people come up and they say things like, I've been married for the last 40 years. Maybe that was the last most miserable 39 years of your life. My wife and I, we've been together for the last 26 years. Maybe the last time you were happy was 26 days after you got married. And the remaining 25 years and some odd days has been hell on wheels. But the thing is, people don't admit that. They tend to talk about the duration instead of the quality of the marriage. People stay together because they want to maintain that social status of, I have been married 30 years. And the wife is unhappy, the husband is unhappy, and the secretary is happy. But that's a different story, and the garden boy is happy, and the former boyfriend is happy because they are finding happiness outside of the confines of their marriage. Yes. Because, especially now with social media, it's easy to connect with people from all over the world and connect with other people and fail to connect with the person sitting right next to you because you guys have stopped communicating, which is unite, commune. Let us commune, let us talk. That's why it's 70% body language. If the person likes to be held, hold it. I don't like public demonstration of affection. Get over it. This is not about you, because if it was, it would be you dating yourself. Are you being married to yourself?
Yes.
Marriage, communication in marriage is about submitting the things that you want to be able to connect with another person. Even in the book of Genesis chapter 1, God had to put the man to sleep. Let's think about that for a minute. To make his wife. He had to put him to sleep because he wasn't about him. God did not need him to create what he needed. God knew exactly what he needed. So he knows the reason why you're in a marriage is because he knows you needed someone and he connected you with that person. And he said this person will be your helpmate. So this person meets you in the place of your own inadequacies. So you get married to be fully complete and walk in the fullness of who you are. If you refuse to connect with that person, then you're still missing a very important part of you.
That's good.
Right?
That's really good. You know, it's so important because when just like you said, when you miss out on that connection with that person, it's just like missing out on another aspect of your life. That's that connection that pulls you into another aspect of knowing even who you are as a whole. So it's so important. And
Absolutely.
and you know how you said, in Genesis, one thing that's also important here when we're talking about words of affirmation, God created with his mouth, with words. And words are so important. It's so important, especially for a woman. Words fill us. And so in your relationship, when you're married, even as a husband, you have to understand your role in your words. How are my words filling my wife? Am I even saying anything? Because I know I've spoken to a lot of men and I ask them, why is it so hard to verbally communicate? And they say, I think it, but I just don't get to say it. I just don't say it. Why? I don't know why. It's in my head. I know she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love her, but I just don't get it out. And I would say for you, the man that's watching, get it out. Let her know. Everything will change. I'm telling you, when your words fill her and go into her and you say, wow, honey, you look amazing. Can you believe just something that small you will be a happy man, period,
I want to be a happy man.
I'm serious, just something so small as a word going into your wife, filling her. It's like water going into a jug. It refreshes us. I can't describe it, but words are powerful, so powerful that God used his words to create. I want to challenge you, man, that's watching. Use your words to create what you need in your marriage. If you've noticed that your wife is distant, start using your words. Create the things that maybe you don't see in that relationship. And the same thing for you, the woman that's watching. Maybe your husband is a man who loves words and you need to encourage him. Start to encourage him. Stop using your words to tear down. Let's start using that to create like God created the earth, right? Yeah. Let's use our words.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. My goodness, that was just a blessing. I was about to start taking some notes because, I want to keep pouring into you and have that, privilege to keep growing in that. And I think it's important that, as I add to a little bit to what she just said, is the gap between intention and action. Because in our own head, we're thinking, wow, I think she's great. I married her for a reason. I mean, she should know that by now. But you are assuming that your intention is translated into action in her head. But until you begin to demonstrate your intention and translate that into action, it's just nothing but an idea in your head, and the person begins to assume that you don't care. So the worst place you want to be, even for women to their husbands, is for your husband to be going through, for instance, a life change, maybe in a job where they lose their job. And I remember I was talking in a situation where the guy called me and said, man, I don't know. She just keeps saying all of these things that make me want to jump. And I was like, please don't jump. Because what happens is your word begins to send them in a direction, and that direction could either be towards success or towards failure. It could be towards life or death, So understand that in a relationship, you become the two most influential people in each other's lives. So meaning that what you say carries more weight than what the pastor says. What you say carries more weight than what the parents say, because you are the most important voice to them. And if your voice is leading them in the wrong direction, if your voice is saying, I know you've been in the gym for the last 3 months and I paid for it, and so why else should I say something about it? Well, you are saying to them that you are not, enough for me to even add value to. So I don't care about adding value to you as my spouse. So what happens is if your spouse doesn't have discipline and the fear of God, there's another guy in the gym called Tyrone. And Tyrone is over there. It's like, my goodness, woman, you don't look great. And the next thing is, she's like, oh, Tyrone noticed me. Oh my God. There's a new guy at the gym called Tyrone. I said, maybe it's not Tyrone, maybe it's Jerome. I don't care what the name is. If you refuse to water the seed in your wife, in your spouse, someone else will water that seed. And if they begin to water it, they're going to harvest on your behalf. And the worst thing that can happen is for another person to be harvesting your own farm. Because as a farmer, and you come home one day and all your corn is gone and your yam's gone because someone else came and did you a favor, but they just forgot to put it in your own storehouse because you refuse to do your own watering. Even God said when it comes to preaching the gospel, he said, Paul sowed, Apollo watered, and God gave the increase. Every marriage is going to grow, but you have to do the watering. God is not going to sweet talk your wife for you at night. You have to do the sweet talking yourself. You have to whisper sweet nothing. Even last night, I was still whispering some sweet nothings. For like what? Almost 5-10 minutes, I was just going. I was on the road, you know. It was like I was in poetry club.
Yes.
I just kept breaking it out from the storehouse. Like, you know, baby, you are the subject of my discussion, the object of my attraction. You know, baby, you know, I love you. You're my heart. You're my joy. You're my everything. And that begins to pour. So when she woke up this morning, she was like, I really enjoyed last night. I didn't do anything physical. I was just creating. Yes. So if you want a wonderful, happy wife, you need to create that with the word of your mouth, as she was saying earlier. If you don't want a happy wife, if you want your house to be Johnson's house of hell, what you want to do is to do what I did in this scenario. But if you want a better house, you want Eden on earth. To the point, I'm going to say something, then I'll turn it over to you in a little bit. Adam and Eve got into a situation in the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, they were created. In chapter 3, now, in one day, Adam lost his job because God fired him. It was the first time someone got fired in the Bible. God fired Adam. God was the original, you are fired, you know. So he fired him, and then he evicted him. So that means you're not living in this house no more because it's corporate housing. So now you've lost your job, pack your things and move out of our property. So he lost his job, lost his paycheck, lost his house. Then his boss, God, was also his mentor. So he lost his mentor the same day. Then he blamed it on his wife. But one thing he did not do, he did not leave his wife. He did not divorce his wife. He did not say, I'm done with you. He said, you know what? We will go and we will make something out of our lives. Yeah. And that's what they did because there was a connection there. There was a relationship there. So he could have said, I lost my job because of you. I lost my boss because of you. I lost my house because of you. And now I'm going to lose you too. And that's where we are. But when you have the right foundation, what you do is you say, well, even though I've lost all of these things, I will come back up again.
Wow, baby, that was really powerful. You know, we just want to encourage you with this. You know, wherever you are in your relationship, whatever communication level you're on, because, you know, we communicate in different ways. Like you said, and even in the scenario, you know, I text you all day. You know, he thought he was communicating in one way and different things like that. But, you know, wherever you are in your journey, I want to encourage you. Use your words. Use your words to begin to pour into your spouse, so even your other relationships, and watch how God begins to transform, and watch how the atmospheres even begin to change and shift as you begin to use your words to affirm and to fill up those different relationships with love, with words of encouragement and different things like that.
Our home is a place to connect. Our home is a place for everyone. Our home is a place of hope. Our home is a place of peace. Our home is a place of power. Our home is a place for love. We invite you into our home because we have a place for you here. Welcome home.
Wow, baby. I mean, it's like we want to keep talking to you, but I know that at some point we all have to go. But the thing I'm going to leave you with, just as my wife said, is keep talking, keep communicating, keep the conversation open. As you do that, you leave room for God to continue to pour joy into your marriage. To continue to, it's not too bad that you can't fix it.
Yes.
So you just have to, sometimes you get into arguments where you win the argument and you lose the marriage.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. You lose an argument and you lose your friend and you lose your spouse over something so simple. You could just own it and say, I apologize. So I want to encourage you, take a lesson from this, learn from it, and let's all grow together. Because marriage is about growing as you go and going as you grow. So it's not perfect and one size doesn't fit all. But you keep going as you grow and you keep growing as you go. Till we see you next time. I'm Israel, and this is my wonderful wife, Cortney Daniels, and we'll see you next time.
Very beginning, he went after the house of Adam and he destroyed them. He separated them from their inheritance, from their relationship, and he's been going house to house looking for a home to destroy, a business to destroy, a career to destroy, and now he has come to your house. He thinks he can break you down, he thinks he can destroy you, but the devil is a liar. You serve a God who is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and you have to align your life with him, your house with him, and as for you and your house, you are standing through because you